U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is in Pakistan. He's accompanied by General Joseph Dunford, who's the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. During the visit, an additional secretary-level officer received the U.S. officials at the airport. At the delegation-level talks at the Pakistan Foreign Office, the issue of terrorism and financial aid given by the United States to Pakistan are on the agenda. Remember, the visit comes days after the U.S. cut $300 million in aid to Pakistan. Pakistan claims that it was the money that America owes Islamabad for the war against terror. Ahead of the visit, Pompeo justified the aid cut. He has said that Pakistan did not make satisfactory progress in combating terror. He said, and I quote, "The rationale for them not getting the money is very clear. It's that we haven't seen the progress that we need to see from them. The very reason for this trip is to try and articulate what is our expectation, the things that they can do, the things that they expect us to do, and see if we can't find a path forward together." Pompeo will meet Pakistan's newly elected Prime Minister Imran Khan, besides Army Chief General Qamar Javed Bajwa and Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi. This is the first high-level dialogue between the US and the new Imran Khan administration in Pakistan. Pompeo said he expected Pakistan to help America in Afghanistan as well. He said, and I quote again, "We need Pakistan to seriously engage to help us get to the reconciliation we need in Afghanistan. Without their assistance, without their help." You've heard General Nicholson and General Miller, both the incoming and outgoing commanders. They've both talked about this. They have important interests, security interests in Afghanistan, to make sure that they get the issues at their border right, and we need their help. All right, for more on this, I am joined by Wion's Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik, who's joining us live from Islamabad. Anas, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. It's a busy day in Islamabad. Tell us what's happening.
Absolutely, Archana. It's a busy day, it's a long day, and it's an important day here in Pakistan because it's the first high-level engagement we're seeing of the new Pakistani government with the top US officials as well. Now, just a while back, US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, he's arrived at the Pakistani Ministry of Foreign Affairs with a 9-member delegation in a huge carcade. As we saw, currently the negotiations are ongoing between Pakistani Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi. He's leading the Pakistani side, whereas Mike Pompeo is accompanied by the US Ambassador to Pakistan, David Hale, the Chief of General Staff, General Joseph, and alongside that, Zalmay Khalilzad and other officials of the State Department and American Embassy are also present in that meeting. Now, the delegation level talks are ongoing as well. If I can just walk you through, the Pakistani side has the Pakistani Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi leading the delegation. Alongside that, the Pakistani Foreign Secretary Temina Janjua, Additional Secretary Americas Aftab Khokar, and other concerned officers of the ministry are present. Now, they're discussing Afghanistan, the long-term solution and peace in Afghanistan. Shah Mahmood Qureshi has also told and conveyed the agenda of Imran Khan's government, the reforms agenda, as what we've been told by the spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The meeting was earlier scheduled to take place at 2 p.m. at the Pakistani Ministry of Foreign Affairs. That is towards my left, but due to some security concerns, it got delayed by an hour, and we saw Mike Pompeo arriving at around roughly 2:50 local time. The meeting commenced at 3 p.m. The meeting is scheduled to take place for about 90 minutes, after which the U.S. Secretary of State will be going to the Prime Minister house, the Prime Minister office, where he would be meeting the Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan. Yes, Archana.
Right, Anas, before Mike Pompeo's visit, a lot of politicians in the opposition, and there were whispers that Imran Khan shouldn't meet Mike Pompeo because the two countries have had a bit of their rough time in the past, whether it was a phone call between Mike Pompeo and Imran Khan. Both countries had a different version, and then the military aid was cut, which Pakistan called a coalition support fund, and said that it's America that must reimburse that amount. So finally, it's confirmed that Imran Khan will be meeting Mike Pompeo?
Well, yes, Archana, long delays and last-minute delays as well, it's now confirmed that Mike Pompeo will be meeting. In fact, if my cameraman can just show you around, Mike Pompeo is just about to leave this Pakistani Ministry of Foreign Affairs in a while from now. What we see is the security route has been in place, and just in a while from now, Mike Pompeo is likely to exit that Ministry of Foreign Affairs building as well. The traffic has been stopped. If you can see, the traffic has been stopped, and just in a while from now, the security route has been in place, and just in a while from now, we'll be seeing Mike Pompeo exiting the premises of the Pakistani Ministry of Foreign Affairs as well. So it's a long day. It's an interesting day. We see a lot of security movement, those army vehicles also moving around. So just in a while from now, the American Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is to exit the Pakistani Ministry of Foreign Affairs after holding formal negotiations and dialogues with the Pakistani Ministry of Foreign Affairs officials. And what is the outcome of the meeting? We're yet to understand that. We're yet to see. But in a while from now, what we can confirm is that from that gate of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, it will be opening, and Mike Pompeo is to leave for the Prime Minister's house. Yes, Archana.
All right, Anas, thank you so much for getting us those updates from Islamabad. We're also joined by G. Parthasarthi, former High Commissioner and former Information Advisor at the Prime Minister's office. He's joining us from New Delhi. So thank you so much for speaking to Wion. The most important question, which is in a lot of people's mind, is that Imran Khan has been assertive that Pakistan will not fight America's war anymore. This is the first bilateral engagement between America and Pakistan. Do you think both countries can press the reset button? Terror, of course, is the inevitable issue that Pakistan has to act on.
Well, I'm not sure that Pakistan has fought for the American cause. They have in fact supported the Taliban on their territory, and the Haqqani network operates out of North Waziristan into Afghanistan. So this business of their helping America is not factually correct, because they have been in fact training and killing training the Taliban, which in turn has been killing Americans, particularly the Haqqani network. Now, I think what has happened is the Americans tried all carrot and no stick. It didn't work. Pakistan continued doing what it was, and the Americans had to depend on them for logistics. The American dependence now has become negligible because they don't need Pakistani routes. Their troop levels are down, they've got enough stocks, so they don't need Pakistan as much as they did earlier. But now it's a question of will. Do the Americans have the will to pressurize Pakistan to desist from helping the Taliban, or are they more interested in just having a negotiation, packing up and leaving? So we'll have to see how it plays out, because some of the things that Pompeo said today were quite at variance with what the firmness displayed earlier.
Right, sir, to name a few, terrorists like Hafiz Saeed, Maulana Masood Azhar are still operating in Pakistan without, they're still on Pakistani soil. They're spreading terror with full impunity. For the benefit of our viewers, could you please explain the kind of patronage terror groups like the Lashkar-e-Toiba and the Jaish-e-Mohammed have received from the Pakistan establishment?
Well, I'm only just to quote what the CIA has said in court. The Lashkar-e-Taiba, which mounted the attack on Mumbai, received full assistance from the ISI. There's no doubt about it, and including their acquisition of a boat from Japan to travel to Bombay. So the assistance is complete. It has been confirmed by the CIA right during the trial of Headley and Rana in Chicago, and thereafter. So we need have no doubts about that. They have turned the screws on the Lashkar. They have sought to cut their sources of financing. We'll have to see how things work out in the Financial Action Task Force, because Pakistan is claiming that it is denying funding to these organizations. But then the Lashkar-e-Taiba had enough money to have its candidates to stand in the last election. So there is much of a double game being played here, and we'll have to see how things move in the Financial Action Task Force, because the actions are multiple. Firstly, the Americans could theoretically deny a cash-strapped Pakistan access to IMF money, and the sort of low-interest, long-term money which the IMF give, the Chinese don't give. The Chinese don't give grants. They give tied credits to their machinery and equipment. So, though they have dished out $1 or $2 billion recently, but Pakistan's need immediately would be around from $11 to $20 billion if they are to stabilize their economy. China will not provide that. So, are the Americans prepared to stay the course in the IMF, in the World Bank, in the Asian Development Bank to turn the economic squeeze on Pakistan, which is economically vulnerable when it comes to its foreign exchange reserves.
Right, sir, as you rightly put that, the economy is crippling in Pakistan. Another thorny issue is the military aid, or as Pakistan wants to call it, the Coalition Support Fund. Pakistan says that, and you've rejected that, and of course the world knows that it's not true. Pakistan says that its own people died in America's war, but Afghanistan and America blame Pakistan for fueling and funding terror in Afghanistan and India. What do you think is going to happen after this crucial visit as far as military aid is concerned, and considering Trump's tough position on military funding as far as Pakistan is concerned?
Look, this business of our own people getting killed, those of their people who got killed were killed by the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. People whom they were training not only to be inimical towards Afghanistan but also towards India. So, this sort of rhetoric carries no credibility. The real question now is, will the ultimate cost-benefit analysis by Pakistan show that it loses too much by way of money, by way of support, by way of international respectability if it continues on its present path? I do get the feeling that after Imran Khan became Prime Minister, he would like to focus on economic issues. But if he is bled dry and runs out of foreign exchange reserves without IMF support, I don't know where he'll get with his economic program. He can't get very far.
Right. Sir, one last question before we move on to another big story is that do you think is America's tough stand on Pakistan purely on the basis of its inaction on terror, or is there a China angle to it, considering how Beijing and Islamabad have inched closer in the recent past?
Well, the fact of the matter is that the Americans are realizing that as the Chinese pour billions in of low interest loans, what they are doing, whether it is Myanmar, Sri Lanka or in Malaysia or further in Central Asia, and even in Africa, what they do is they give loans which are tied to the equipment they supply. Even the workers are Chinese, so they make the recipients totally dependent on them. We've seen that in Hambantota, and Myanmar has acted to see that that does not happen in the port of Chokfu, also on the Bay of Bengal. So the Chinese thing is worrying to the Americans, but the Americans also are given to cutting deals. If they can reach a suitable trade agreement, President Trump may start singing a different tune. So I think let's wait and watch. But right at the present moment, there is animosity towards China because of its behavior in the South China Sea, where the Americans are now more or less testing them. They have made noises about turning the squeeze on the Lashkar and the Jaish. I haven't seen any concrete action so far, but let us see what they do. The problem really with China is that it is even supporting the Jaish-e-Mohammed and preventing the world from declaring it a terrorist organization.